We now have the total values and also the average distance. We're now going to move on to calculating the highest value of that week and also updating our goal down at the bottom too. So to do this, let's go back over to our script.js and we can create a function to calculate this. The name of this function will be weekly high, and all we need to do is to calculate the highest value which has been added into our entries array. Store this in a constant called high. And the way we can do this is by using a math function JavaScript provides, which is called max. So inside here we can pass in different values such as 4, 12 and 6. And now if we do a console log for the value of high, we should see that the value of 12 is output. Let's call this inside of our function handle submit. And we can check this is working in the console. We can add any value inside of here, hit enter, and we see the value of 12. But instead we want to grab the highest value from our entries array. So let's change this. We can pass in our entries array and check this is working. So 5, 6, and 1. This now gives us a problem inside the console. So the reason this is happening is because math.max will expect a series of numbers. However, we are passing an entries array, so we are effectively doing something like this. Instead, what we want is to extract the actual values from inside of our array, so it looks more like this. The way we can do this is by using the JavaScript spread operator, which is the 3 dots. This will then extract all of the values inside of our entries array, and this should now work inside the console. Now we have the high value, we can now update the DOM. So document.getElement by ID. The ID we want, if we go to the index page, is the value of high. Let's set the inner text, which is going to be equal to our variable. Test this out. So the value of 1, 5. We see the weekly high is the value of 5. 7, this has been updated. If we add a lower value such as 3, this still has the high value of 7. Next up, we can also make our weekly target more dynamic too by controlling this from our script. We don't need to do this via a function, we can just do this as soon as our script loads. So let's create a variable up at the top, or a constant. I'm going to call this our goal. Set this to any value such as 25. We can then use a query selector or get element by ID to update our target. The target ID, and then we need to set the inner text to be equal to our goal. We can also remove the placeholder value of 25 and also check this is working in the browser. So we don't have anything to update this goal from the user interface. I've just hard-coded this as a value inside the script. But of course, if you do want a little challenge, you can go ahead and add this to the project so it can be updated by the user. Most of the functionality is now in place, and the final part we're going to do, if we take a look at the final version, is to create this progress circle down at the bottom.